The loneliest word many men say is not help. It is fine. 2 syllables that sound calm while the room behind them is burning. Fine can mean tired. Fine can mean scared. Fine can mean nobody has earned the full answer. The problem is not the word itself. The problem is when it becomes a locked door with a normal label. A man says fine because it ends the conversation fast. It protects the image. It keeps the mask clean. But every time he uses it to hide the truth, he teaches people to stop looking. Then he wonders why nobody sees him. This is the loop. He wants to be understood, but he refuses to be readable. He wants support, but performs control. Self-reliance sounds strong until it becomes a prison. At first it means I can handle things. Later it means I am not allowed to need anything. That difference matters. Strength can carry weight. Isolation just keeps carrying weight after the body is already breaking. Many men learn early that needing too much makes them expensive to love, so they become low maintenance emotionally. Convenient, quiet, hard to reach. People call that maturity because it causes fewer problems. But sometimes it is not maturity. Sometimes it is disappearance with good manners. The sentence "I'm fine" often arrives before the truth even has a chance. It becomes an automatic defense, not a real answer. Someone asks, "What is wrong?" The answer comes too fast. Fine. Nothing. Just tired. That speed is the tell. A real answer takes a second. A shield comes out instantly. Research on men's loneliness keeps circling the same dangerous pattern. Self-reliance can become tied to silence. Silence can become tied to not seeking help. This is not about blaming men for hurting. It is about noticing the rule they may be obeying without seeing it. The rule says, be useful, be stable, be funny, be productive, be calm, but do not become a burden. So he turns pain into performance. He jokes. He works. He lifts. He scrolls. He says fine. And because he still functions, nobody panics. Functioning is mistaken for connection. That is one of the coldest parts. A man can be productive and deeply alone at the same time. He can answer emails, pay bills, train hard, and still have nobody who knows what happens after midnight. Loneliness does not always look like crying. Sometimes it looks like a man who never misses work and never tells the truth. Sometimes it looks like 5 unread messages he will never send. Sometimes it looks like a group chat full of jokes and no real questions. The world often rewards the version of him that hides best. Calm men are easier to consume. Quiet men require less attention. But a hidden problem does not become a solved problem. It only becomes a private one. The word "fin" becomes a storage unit. Every disappointment goes inside. Every fear goes inside. Every rejection goes inside. At first there is room. Then the door barely closes. Then one small thing makes the whole structure shake. People act surprised when quiet men collapse. But the collapse was not sudden. The visibility was sudden. There is a difference. The pain was already there. It just finally became impossible to package. If this is hitting too close, comment the word "fine" later. Not for drama. For proof that you heard the hidden part. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Many men are not only lonely because they have nobody around. They are lonely because nobody is allowed close. They may have coworkers. They may have family. They may have contacts. But access is not intimacy. You can be surrounded and still protected from everyone. That is not connection. That is security with no warmth. A lot of men build relationships around activity. Games, work, lifting, music, money, sports, projects. Those can be real. But if the activity is the only bridge, the bridge disappears when the pain has no hobby attached. Then he has people to do things with, but nobody to fall apart near. That is a different kind of poverty. The cruel part is that he may not even know how to ask. Nobody taught the sentence. Nobody modeled the reach. So he waits for someone to notice perfectly. But people are not mind readers. They respond to signals. If every signal says fine, the world believes a sign. Then resentment grows under the mask. He thinks, nobody checked on me. But sometimes they did. He handed them a locked answer and called it privacy. This does not mean he owes everyone his pain. Boundaries matter. Privacy matters. Not every person deserves access. But if nobody gets access, privacy becomes exile. A boundary around everything becomes a cell. The goal is not to confess to every stranger. The goal is to stop lying to the few people who have earned more. That starts with one better sentence. Not a speech, not a breakdown. Just a crack in the wall. Try this. I am not doing great, but I do not know how to explain it yet. That sentence changes the room. It tells the truth. without forcing a performance. It asks for patience without asking for rescue. Another sentence works too. I keep saying fine because I do not want to be a burden. That one is brutal because it exposes the actual fear, not sadness. Cost. Many men are terrified that their pain will make them less desirable, less respected, or less useful, so they become emotionally cheap. They offer everyone the version that needs nothing. But being easy to ignore is not the same as being strong. It is only easy to ignore. Subscribe to Cold Memo if you want psychology without comfort theater. This channel is for the truth you avoid because it costs you something. Now look at the phrase, I don't want to talk about it. Sometimes that is a boundary. Sometimes it is fear wearing a boundary's clothes. You can tell by what happens next. If silence brings peace, maybe it was a boundary. If silence brings more loneliness, it was avoidance. The body usually knows the difference before the mind admits it. Relief feels open. Avoidance feels tight. The man who says fine often feels tight. Tight chest, tight jaw, tight schedule, tight story. Everything is controlled because control is the only emotional language he trusts. But control cannot replace being known. It can only delay exposure. That delay has a cost. The longer he hides, the more impossible honesty feels. He starts believing the mask is the only version people accept. Then every relationship becomes a test nobody knows they are taking. Will they still respect me if I say I am scared? Will they still want me if I say I am lonely? Those questions are human. But when they stay unspoken, they become verdicts. He assumes the answer is no. Then he behaves as if rejection already happened. That is how loneliness feeds itself. It predicts abandonment, then builds a life that prevents closeness. A man can call this independence, but independence is choosing solitude. Loneliness is being trapped in it. There is dignity in solitude when it restores you. There is damage in isolation when it slowly removes your voice. The difference is whether you can return. Solitude has a door. Isolation has an excuse. Fine is one of the cleanest excuses ever invented. Nobody argues with it. Nobody knows where to push, so the conversation dies politely. That is why the word is dangerous. Not because it is false every time, because it can be false for years and still sound normal. The fix is not becoming emotionally loud. The fix is becoming emotionally accurate. Accuracy is simple. Say less, but say something true. I am overwhelmed. I am lonely. I am angry. I need a minute. I need someone to check on me tomorrow. Those sentences are not weakness. They are coordinates. Without coordinates, even people who care cannot find you. They can only stand outside the wall and guess. If someone gives you those coordinates, do not punish them for it. Do not turn their honesty into a debate. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say back is simple. I hear you. Stay here. Tell me the next sentence. Men also need friendships where the second question exists. Not just how are you, but what does fine mean today? That question cuts through the script. It gives the truth permission to arrive late. Because sometimes the first answer is armor. The second answer is where the person starts. If you care about a quiet man, do not interrogate him. Just make honesty less expensive. Make it normal to say the ugly middle, not crisis, not victory, just the middle. The middle is where most men live. Not destroyed, not okay. Functional, but starving for real contact. Like this video, if that word has ever cost you a conversation, not because likes fix loneliness, because attention tells the algorithm this topic matters. The cold truth is that nobody can connect with a version of you that never arrives. They can admire the performance, they can rely on the worker, they can laugh with the joker, but they cannot know the man who keeps replacing himself with fine. At some point, the mask stops protecting your dignity and starts stealing your life. You do not need to tell everyone everything. That is not wisdom. That is flooding. You need one or two places where the sentence can become true. One or two people who get more than a brochure. And if you do not have those people yet, that is not proof you are doomed. It is proof the next task is connection, not more performance. Start smaller than your pride wants. Send one honest message. Ask one real question. Answer one check-in without lying. Do not wait until the pain is cinematic. Most damage is built quietly. Fine is not always a lie. But if it is the only word you ever give, it becomes one. So the next time someone asks how you are, pause. Let the shield arrive late. Maybe the answer is still fine. But maybe it is this, I am not fine, and I am tired of making it look easy. That sentence will not fix your life, but it opens a door, and sometimes the door is the first proof that you were not built to disappear.